You are standing in line. Your phone is in your pocket. 10 seconds pass. Your hand is already moving toward it. You call this boredom. You treat it like an itch to be scratched, a bug in your brain to be patched with a scroll. But the real answer is far stranger. Boredom is not a malfunction. It is one of the oldest survival tools your mind has ever built, and you have spent the last 15 years trying to kill it. Think about that for a second. What if the thing you fear most, the empty, itchy, restless feeling of nothing to do, is actually one of the reasons your species is still alive? Start with a simple question. What is boredom really? Not the dictionary definition, the felt experience. Psychologist John Eastwood at York University spent years trying to pin it down, and his answer is deceptively simple. Boredom is the uncomfortable feeling of wanting to be engaged in something and being unable to find it. It is not laziness. It is not apathy. It is the opposite. It is a hunger for your mind to be used. Your brain did not evolve in a world with screens. It evolved in a world with hours of walking, hours of watching, hours of nothing happening. And in that world, boredom was not a punishment. It was a signal. A very old, very useful signal. Here is the reframe. Boredom evolved to move you. Picture your ancestors on the savannah 60,000 years ago. Food is scarce. Threats are everywhere. But also, sometimes, nothing is happening. No predator, no prey, no danger, just stillness. If your ancestors' brain had let that stillness feel comfortable forever, they would have stayed put. They would have stopped scanning, stopped exploring, stopped searching for the next opportunity. Comfortable stillness is a death sentence for a creature that survives by finding food, mates, and shelter before the next drought or the next predator. So evolution built in a mechanism, a discomfort that rises the longer nothing engaging happens, a discomfort that only lifts once you act, once you get up, once you search, explore, create, or connect. That discomfort is boredom. It is not there to torture you. It is there to move you. This is why boredom feels almost physically unbearable if you sit with it too long. It is supposed to. A mild alarm that gets louder until you respond. Now here is where it gets strange. In 2014, psychologist Timothy Wilson at the University of Virginia ran an experiment that became instantly famous and slightly infamous. He put people alone in a room with absolutely nothing to do. No phone, no book, just their thoughts for around 15 minutes. Most people rated the experience as unpleasant. Some rated it as very unpleasant. Then Wilson gave them one more option, a button that delivered a mild electric shock. Painful, but not damaging. Just uncomfortable enough that in an earlier part of the study, most participants said they would pay money to avoid it. Alone in the room with nothing else to do, a striking number of people chose to shock themselves, repeatedly, rather than sit with their own unoccupied mind. Read that again. People chose pain over boredom. What does that tell you? It tells you that the discomfort of an idle mind is not a minor inconvenience. It is one of the most aversive states a human being can experience. Strong enough that some people would rather feel a jolt of physical pain than feel nothing happening in their head. Why would your brain be built this way? Why make stillness feel almost as bad as being hurt? Because for most of human history, an idle mind in an idle body was a wasted opportunity, or worse, a warning sign. If you were not moving, not foraging, not building, not connecting with your group, you were burning daylight your ancestors could not afford to burn. Boredom was the internal whip that kept the species productive, curious, and adaptive. Here is the twist you were not expecting. Boredom did not just push humans toward danger and food, it pushed them toward invention. Psychologist Sandy Mann at the University of Central Lancashire has spent much of her career studying this exact link. In one of her studies, she had participants complete a boring task first, like copying numbers from a phone book, before asking them to come up with creative uses for a plastic cup. The bored group generated more creative ideas than the group that skipped the boring task entirely. Boredom, it turns out, primes the brain to wander, and a wandering brain is a brain that connects ideas nobody asked it to connect. Cave paintings, storytelling around a fire, the invention of tools nobody needed yet, music made from nothing but rhythm and breath. A strong argument can be made that a portion of early human culture did not emerge purely from necessity. It emerged from unbearably long stretches of unstructured time and a species desperate to fill it with something more interesting than silence. Boredom did not just keep your ancestors alive, it may have made them creative enough to become human in the first place. So why does boredom feel so unbearable to you now, in 2026, when you have more stimulation available in your pocket than an entire ancient village had in a lifetime? Because the ancient alarm system is still running, but the world around it has completely changed. Your brain still fires that same old discomfort signal the moment nothing is happening. But now, instead of that signal pushing you toward foraging, storytelling, or invention, there is a phone in your hand that can silence it in under 2 seconds. No effort, no creativity required. Just a swipe, and the discomfort disappears. Researcher Aaron Westgate at the University of Florida describes boredom partly as a signal that your current activity is not providing enough meaning or mental engagement. It is your mind asking a very old question. Is this worth my attention? When the answer is no, the discomfort rises until you either change the activity or find one that matters more. But short-form video, endless feeds, and algorithmic entertainment are engineered to answer that ancient alarm instantly without ever actually satisfying the deeper hunger underneath it. You feel the itch, you scratch it, but the itch was never really about needing a video. It was about needing meaningful engagement. And a 15-second clip rarely provides that. This is why you can watch 2 straight hours of short videos and still feel restless afterward. The alarm went quiet. The hunger did not. Here is the part that should genuinely unsettle you. Every time you reach for your phone, the instant boredom appears. You are not eliminating the ancient signal. You are training it to expect an instant reward for even the smallest flicker of discomfort. Over time, your tolerance for that old, useful, evolutionarily vital feeling gets smaller and smaller. The moment nothing happens, your hand moves before your mind even registers the decision. You are not weak for this. You are simply running very old software in an environment engineered specifically to exploit it. But here is the quiet opportunity hidden inside all of this. If boredom evolved to push you towards something, then the discomfort you feel today is still pointing somewhere. It might be pointing toward a conversation you have been avoiding, a project you have been putting off, an idea half-formed and waiting for enough empty space to finish forming. The ancient alarm has not changed, only your relationship to it has. Some of the most creative people alive protect boredom on purpose. Long walks without headphones, showers without a podcast playing, empty afternoons with nothing scheduled. Not because they enjoy discomfort, but because they know what waits on the other side of it if they let the alarm ring long enough to actually listen. So the next time you feel that familiar itch, that empty, restless, almost unbearable stretch of nothing happening, pause before you reach for the escape hatch in your pocket. You are standing in line. Your phone is in your pocket. 10 seconds pass, and this time, your hand stays still. Because you finally understand what that feeling was trying to tell you all along. If you clicked away right now, you'd go back to scrolling, back to scratching that same old itch. But you know something now that you didn't know 8 minutes ago. That itch isn't broken. It's ancient. It's been pointing you somewhere since before you were even born. So the next time it shows up, don't just scratch it. Ask it what it wants. If this changed the way you see your own restlessness, subscribe to Maze of Mind. Every week, we open up one more strange, hidden truth about why your brain works the way it does.